What happens when one actress's courage to stand up against her agency suddenly exposes the dark underbelly of an entire industry? The Chinese entertainment world is experiencing an unprecedented earthquake that nobody saw coming, and the tremors are only getting stronger. Zhao Lusi's explosive fallout with Cool Entertainment has ripped open a Pandora's box of industry secrets that has every major celebrity questioning their loyalty to the very companies that made them stars. The shocking reality? This isn't just about one actress anymore. This is about an entire generation of performers who are finally waking up to realize they might be trapped in golden cages, and the bars are starting to feel tighter than ever before. The question on everyone's lips isn't whether more stars will follow Zhao Lusi's lead. It's who will be brave enough to jump ship first, and more critically, who will survive the fallout. Industry insiders are whispering that Wang Yibo, one of China's biggest male stars, is already in secret negotiations to terminate his contract with his current agency. Dilraba Dilmurat, the Uyghur beauty who has dominated screens and endorsement deals for years, is reportedly consulting with legal teams about her exit strategy. Liu Yuning, the rising star who transitioned from musician to actor with meteoric success, is said to be mere weeks away from making an announcement that could shake his agency to its core. But here's the truly terrifying part for these entertainment companies. These aren't just rumors anymore. These are coordinated moves by artists who have been silently suffering under oppressive contracts for years, and Zhao Lusi's rebellion has given them the blueprint for escape. As the Chinese entertainment industry on the verge of a complete collapse of the traditional agency system? The parallels to Hollywood's early studio system dissolution are striking, but this time it's happening at lightning speed in the age of social media, where every contract dispute becomes public spectacle and every artist's grievance can mobilize millions of fans within hours. What started as Zhao Lusi's personal battle against Cool Entertainment has transformed into something far more dangerous for the established order. A full-blown revolution where artists are discovering they have more power than they ever imagined, and agencies are scrambling to maintain control while their biggest assets contemplate walking away. The stakes couldn't be higher: billions of yuan in investments, hundreds of projects in development, and the future careers of some of Asia's most beloved stars all hang in the balance, and nobody knows who will still be standing when the dust finally settles. The Zhao Lusi bombshell. How one actress became the face of industry rebellion. When Zhao Lusi first hinted at tensions with Cool Entertainment in early 2024, most observers dismissed it as typical contract renegotiation drama that would blow over after both sides reached a compromise. How catastrophically wrong that assumption turned out to be. The 26-year-old actress, beloved for her roles in Dating in the Kitchen and Who Rules the World, wasn't just unhappy with her contract terms. She was preparing to wage an all-out war against an agency system she believed had exploited her during the most crucial years of her career. What nobody anticipated was that her willingness to publicly air grievances, risk her reputation, and potentially sacrifice future opportunities would resonate so deeply with her fellow artists that it would trigger an industry-wide reckoning. The details of Zhao Lusi's complaints against Cool Entertainment read like a horror story for any creative professional. According to sources close to the situation, the actress alleged that the agency took an unconscionable percentage of her earnings. Some reports suggest upwards of 70% of her income from acting roles, endorsements, and appearances. But the financial exploitation was just the beginning. Zhao Lusi reportedly had virtually no control over which projects she could accept or reject, with the agency making decisions based on their financial interests rather than her artistic development or personal well-being. The schedule they imposed on her was allegedly brutal, with the actress working back-to-back projects with minimal rest periods, leading to exhaustion and health concerns that the agency dismissed as irrelevant to their profit margins. Perhaps most damaging to Cool Entertainment's reputation were allegations that they restricted Zhao Lusi's personal freedom in ways that extended far beyond professional obligations. The agency allegedly controlled her social media presence to an extreme degree, dictating what she could post, when she could post it, and even monitoring her private communications to ensure she wasn't discussing contract matters with anyone outside the company. Her personal relationships were scrutinized and sometimes forbidden if the agency deemed them potentially damaging to her brand image. Even her living arrangements were reportedly controlled by Cool Entertainment, with the actress essentially under constant surveillance to ensure compliance with their vision of how a marketable star should behave. This level of control, which sources describe as suffocating and dehumanizing, finally pushed Zhao Lusi to take the dramatic step of severing ties, regardless of the professional consequences. The legal battle that ensued was vicious and public, with both sides leveraging media coverage to shape public opinion. Cool Entertainment initially attempted to portray Zhao Lusi as an ungrateful artist who had forgotten how the agency discovered her, developed her talents, and invested millions in building her career. They threatened massive lawsuits for breach of contract, and demanded compensation that could have bankrupted the actress. But Zhao Lusi refused to back down, and her legal team began systematically exposing what they characterized as exploitative practices that violated Chinese labor laws and entertainment industry regulations. The case became a cause célèbre among fans and fellow artists alike, with many seeing Zhao Lusi as a courageous whistleblower rather than a troublesome diva. What made Zhao Lusi's case particularly explosive was the timing and the transparency. This wasn't a quiet settlement negotiated behind closed doors. This was a very public divorce that revealed intimate details about how major Chinese entertainment agencies operate. Every revelation about Cool Entertainment's contracts, every leaked document showing the extent of control they exerted over their artists, and every witness testimony from former staff members painted a picture of an industry where young performers were routinely taken advantage of by companies that viewed them as assets to be exploited, rather than human beings to be respected. The case became required viewing for anyone in the Chinese entertainment industry, and the lessons being learned were making executives at every major agency extremely nervous. The domino effect. Why every major star is now questioning their agency relationship. The psychological impact of Zhao Lusi's very public battle cannot be overstated. For years, Chinese celebrities operated under an unspoken code. You don't publicly criticize your agency, you don't expose industry practices, and you certainly don't break contracts unless you want to be blacklisted forever. Zhao Lusi shattered that code, and in doing so, she created a permission structure for other artists to examine their own situations with fresh eyes. Suddenly, contract terms that seemed normal or unavoidable were being scrutinized. Practices that had been accepted as just how the industry works were being questioned. And most importantly, artists who had felt isolated and powerless in their negotiations realized they weren't alone. There were dozens, maybe hundreds of performers experiencing the same exploitation, and collective action might actually be possible. Wang Yibo's situation perfectly illustrates why so many top-tier artists are now contemplating their exit strategies. The 27-year-old superstar, who rose to fame through The Untamed, and has since become one of China's most bankable actors and sought-after endorsers, has been with his agency since his early days as a member of the boy group UNIQ. His current contract, signed years ago when he was still a relatively unknown performer, apparently contains terms that made sense for a rookie but are wildly inappropriate for someone of his current stature and earning power. Industry analysts estimate that Wang Yibo generates tens of millions of dollars annually through acting projects, endorsements, and appearances, yet his contractually mandated split with his agency means he receives far less than what an artist of his caliber could command in the current market. But Wang Yibo's concerns reportedly go beyond just money. Sources familiar with his thinking suggest he's frustrated by the lack of artistic control over his career direction. His agency has allegedly pushed him toward commercial projects that offer higher immediate returns, rather than supporting his desire to take on more challenging dramatic roles that could establish him as a serious actor, rather than just a pop idol turned celebrity. The agency's risk-averse approach to project selection has, according to these sources, led to Wang Yibo turning down opportunities to work with acclaimed directors and participate in prestigious productions because they didn't meet the agency's financial thresholds. For an artist who takes his craft seriously and has ambitions beyond being a commercial spokesperson, this level of creative constraint has become increasingly intolerable. The situation is equally complicated for Dilraba Dilmurat, whose relationship with her agency has been strained by different pressures. As one of the few Uyghur actresses to achieve mainstream success in Chinese entertainment, Dilraba faces unique challenges regarding how she's marketed and the types of roles she's offered. Insiders suggest that tensions have been building over the agency's decisions to emphasize her physical appearance and exotic beauty in marketing materials, rather than highlighting her acting abilities and range. Dilraba has reportedly expressed frustration that her agency hasn't supported her efforts to take on more diverse and complex characters,